All right, everyone, welcome back to the Gravely Highlands. Let's bring our party in the middle of their dilemma here. Welcome, everyone. You are all currently standing in front of a pile of rubble that is partially obscuring this double door entrance to the temple beyond, to the inner sanctum of the temple that you have found underground. Neslia, in this moment, Hogan has both of his large dwarf hands on your shoulders and is shaking you and sort of yelling. And you have taken this moment to escape to somewhere else in this moment of extreme stress. So, where are you right now?
I've retreated into my own mind, and I believe I've heard someone that I've never heard before there. And
Yes.
yeah, it's very interesting. So the Illithid or whoever has asked me to join them, and I'm kind of reaching out to my patron to see if I can get some guidance in this moment.
Yes, go ahead. Let's do an Arcana check and see
Yeah.
how that connection goes.
Okay. Ooh, we're starting out strong. 23 for Arcana.
Perfect. So not only is your patron listening, but they were knocking on the door when you thought to check in.
So I'm just kind of reaching out psychically, and I'm going to be. Should I? Are these our friends? Are these connected to you? Should I join them? Is this my path? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing?
And you get the definitive feeling that your patron is not interested at all in you joining what your patron considers to be sort of a feckless abomination of the universe that is in no way connected to the great power that has been bestowed upon you.
Oh my. Okay. Well, that's definitely a thought that I have coming into my head right there.
With a twist.
With it, yes. So feeling this connection with my patron, and love you. Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to look down at Hogan, who's still shaking me and being. I haven't even been paying attention. Hogan, what are you saying to me? And I have retreated, and I'm just not even. What are you doing to me right now?
At this moment, Hogan's just kind of accusing you of being with the Illithid in the other room, and he is visibly unhappy. It's the only way to describe it. Every ounce, every iota of his being is upset and pointed at you right now.
Okay, so seeing this in front of me, this angry dwarf, and knowing what my patron has told me, I'm going to look over to Gwyn, who's probably just watching this play out. I'm not sure what Gwyn's doing right now.
Well, she's going to say something in a second, but I want to let you guys have your moments.
Okay, I'm going to look at Gwyn, and I'm going to psychically message her, and I'm just going to say, trust me on this one. And I am going to Misty Step 30 feet into the chamber, and I'm going to psychically tell the Illithid, what do you need me to do?
So, as she disappears, Gwen whisper shouts to Hogan, "What the hell do you think you're doing? They are going to be able to hear us."
She's with them! Hogan is still very loud.
Okay. Hogan, that doesn't make any sense. Okay? Think about this for like 5 seconds. This doesn't make any sense. Okay? If she was with them, then what do you think would have been easier? Fighting along with us or bringing humans down to let them feast on them? Like, she wouldn't bring warriors to the Illithid if her entire plan was to supply the Illithid with bodies to host.
She already Misty walked, guys.
Yeah, Thank you, Wawatessi. We noticed. Yeah, saw that.
Hogan's hands are still very much where Neslia was, just like rage shaking at this moment.
Listen, we need the element of surprise. Okay, you want to kill these guys?
Oh, I want to kill these guys.
Yeah, I do too. That's great. So the way we do that is by buffing ourselves up.
Fireball!
Plan? No. The way we do this is we need to be careful and we need to think about what we do before we go in there. I can't control what Neslia does anymore, and I never really could anyway. But she's doing her own thing, and we're just going to let her do that because I don't think she can make it any worse. And I am just going to cast Emboldening Bond on the three of the people that are still here. So, Wawatessi, Hogan, and is Penny here?
No.
Okay.
Just the three of you right now.
Can we have some kind of story logic?
Well, so Penny and I were talking, and I was mentioning about what was in that accountant room thing where that big thing came out of the ceiling and everything like that. And I said, yeah, I heard something. I'm walking away. Penny went back there because she forgot her rapier.
Okay. Okay, so then there's two people next to me. Neslia is in the other room now. Was she moved out of this room because she's not was she moved out of the broadcast because she's not in the room anymore, or
Correct.
was? Okay.
Yes.
I just want to know if that was a technical thing or if that was on purpose.
No.
It's because she's a traitor.
Shut up. I think I can do an Emboldening Bond within 30 feet.
You can, and Misty Step is 30 feet, so you are within range to extend that to Neslia if you would like
I'm
to.
still
And
going to give it to her. I'm going to trust that she's doing something important with what she's doing. So this is going to be... so you can use a D4 to add to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. You can do it once per turn, and this lasts for 10 minutes. So this isn't a concentration spell. It's like a channel divinity. And then I'm going to. There's another buff I'm going to cast before we go do anything. Do we want 5 hit points more each? Would that be worth a second level spell slot? Probably not.
I don't know, armor class of 20. What do you think?
I also have an ability that lets me regenerate 5 points of health at the beginning of my turn that I can do 3 times.
Whoa.
Haven't needed it yet. And then I think I'm just gonna do guidance, like just really simple guidance. So I can only do that on one person. Is that true?
Yeah.
Give it to Hogan. He doesn't know how to control his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
They
gonna
need
give
some
this to
guidance.
Hogan. You now have a second D4 that you can use, and these stack, so you can use both of them. But this one you can only use once.
Just once. Okay, thank you.
And only within the next minute. So now that we've buffed ourselves a little bit, what do we want to do?
How do we get rid of these rocks? I assume we're gonna go in there.
Well, I can use a Thunder Wave. I think that would help. DM, would you allow Thunder Wave to help this?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
That's a solution.
Didn't you
Okay.
just tell me to be quiet?
Yeah, because we're planning. Now that I've done those spells, a lot of the planning is done because I don't think you have any buffing spells that we could do, right?
I got this one, and I got this one.
Great. Okay, Wawatessi, do you have any buffs that you can cast before we go in there?
So I could, I don't know if I can do them beforehand. So, because there's nobody here within range that I can hex. Cure wounds is necessary unless anybody needs that. Charm a person.
No.
Invisibility is not going to be needed at this point. Enhanceability is not going to be needed at this point, especially.
Actually, yes. Actually, yes. We do want enhanceability.
Yeah.
How many people can you cast enhanceability on?
On second level, let me find out.
You can also cast it at a third level and probably target more than one person.
But then that would take an extra slot, wouldn't it?
Well, no, it would just take a higher slot. But it could be worth it.
Yeah, so there's a couple different things you can add. So with enhanceability at second level, you pick a single creature. If you cast it at third level, you can target one additional creature. You could cast this on 2 of the party members if you would like to. And then there's a couple categories of, you could kind of pick your category of what you would like to have a bonus on. There's a bonus option for Constitution, Strength, Dexterity, Charisma, Intelligence, and Wisdom.
Yeah, so you want to give us intelligence. No, intelligence. They're illithid, they target intelligence.
Intelligence.
Third level mage, I present Fox Cunning, Enhance Intelligence Ability, Ignite.
Okay, great. I guess they're definitely heard us now. So
let's Thunderwave. Yeah,
I'm gonna get them out of the way, and I'm gonna Thunderwave into the room.
All right. So go ahead and cast that Thunderwave, and you're gonna cast that at the wall.
Yeah.
Hogan's going to back up behind Gwen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back up behind Hogan.
I've been keeping track of how long all that took. Guidance is a cantrip, so I'm just gonna cast it again.
Okay.
Since it doesn't take any spell slots.
All right, go ahead and make an attack on this wall.
No, it's not an attack. It's just it has to make a Constitution save. Technically, I guess.
Oh, thanks.
Good luck
Okay.
on the wall making a Constitution save.
Yeah.
Somehow I decided that I didn't need my dice. I don't know why I didn't stop that.
You do need your dice. Yeah.
I got a 16 plus. How do I do my add-ons again?
Oh, you don't need to roll
You
for
don't have to roll for this
enhanceability.
one. Yeah,
That's okay. You can just do it.
Okay.
it just magically happens, but it is a concentration spell.
Right.
So that means if you take damage, it'll be impacts your ability to continue the spell.
Okay.
Okay, just gonna use it online. It's okay. I'll look for it during the intermission.
No worries. So why don't let's do, you
should
go
be
ahead and
2d8,
roll your
yeah.
Thunder Wave. Because you've destabilized this wall a little bit already by poking through it. So go ahead and roll your Thunder Wave damage.
So I got 12 damage for 2d8. I believe is just 2. Why is it hard to find? It should not be hard to find. I have a lot of spells I have to keep track of. Okay. I'm like almost certain it's 2d8, but I just wanted to be.
Yeah, no, that's quite good.
It is, yes. Okay. So I rolled it and it was 12.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna blast a hole that's sort of a little bit larger than gnome size. It's gonna take out some of the pieces at the bottom. And if 2 of you
I'm
want
a dwarf, so I should be able to fit that, right?
Dwarf would fit that, yeah. And so would Hogan, yeah. So it'll just be Wawatesi sneaking in the back. So that'll bring us all back in. Jesus.
The illithid are dogs?
No.
It's the little brains. It's the little brains
Yeah.
that are puppies.
Oh, they're puppies.
Okay, so you enter into this space. Neslia is standing in the center of this space, so there's been this minor explosion behind you, and several pieces of rock have blown out from the wall, and the intellect devourers on the floor around Neslia have all turned to face the door. Neslia, would you like to do something now before we roll initiative?
Yes. I am going to hear that the wall has been blasted, and I'm going to do my necrotic shroud. So what happens is you see Neslia in the middle of this room, and her eyes go completely black, and out of her back sprouts these skeletal, ghostly wings. And so creatures within 10 feet must succeed on a charisma saving throw, or they become frightened of me
Okay.
until my next turn.
Can you be a little bit more specific about what you mean by the center of the room?
I'm right underneath that illithid at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you are hoping to target those two brain boys and the illithid?
And the illithid, yeah.
So 3 of them.
And just for flavor, Hogan just kind of reaches over and just kind of taps Gwen on the arm and then just points over at Neslia while all of this is happening. Just like,
Charisma saving throw, is that right?
And then
Yes.
I look at Hogan and I'm like, if we need to kill Neslia, we'll kill her last. There you go.
And the spell save on that, James, is 15. So they need to get at least 15.
Okay. They're all going to fail.
Oh, awesome.
They're all going to fail.
So they are, so any creature that's frightened, so all of them, has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of the fear, i.e. me, is in line of sight. And they can't move willingly towards me.
I think they have. Do they have to use all their movement to run away?
No, not on this. Not on Necrotic
Not on this one?
Shroud.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they have.
I know sometimes that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they have disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls while they can see me, and they can't move towards me.
Yeah.
They're literally terrified of the being that I have become. And as I'm doing that,
Animal I have become.
so as I do that, I'm going to just pour a stream of my own consciousness into the illithid. So just like, how dare you impersonate my patron? What is wrong with you? And just kind of just have that stream of Neslia that only Neslia can do, and just pour that into its brain. And I hope it just kind of can't deal.
Okay.
Simply cannot.
It cannot.
Now I know why they're scared, really.
Perfect.
fate worse than death.
So you've all arrived in this room. You've seen Neslia transform into this skeletal winged creature in front of you, and you have and the mind flayer that is standing on the stairs facing this has backed up, which is something that Hogan in particular, you've never seen a mind flayer back up for any reason. Hasn't moved very far, but doesn't look thrilled. And the two intellect devourers on the far side seem to be holding their position away from her. This seems to have had an impact on them. You can see this. One of the other things that you can see is just past this mind flayer, because he's down a couple of steps, you can see these 4 teenagers, 2 dwarves and 2 elves, that have been sort of dressed in what look like ritual robes. The one on your left-hand side with arms raised, standing with arms raised, is the granddaughter of the city councilor that you met earlier. Her eyes have gone completely white, and she is holding a growing ball of blue energy that seems to be transferring between these 4. They are all encased in some kind of trance, being observed by the mind flayers around, where outside of where the bodies here are. You can also see that the mind flayer who's at the top right-hand side is holding a heavy wooden mallet that seems to have a large sort of leather top on it, and he's standing next to an enormous drum that's laid on its side. Can everyone? Yeah, go ahead.
Would Gwennifer potentially know if if a mind flayer's mind control is a magical spell or an ability?
It's an ability. Their psionics are like a racial / creature ability.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is because I want to know if something like Dispel Magic would stop that. But
So
that's fine.
the trance that's happening between the 4 teenagers is you're not entirely sure what that is. None of the mind flayers are contributing to it. They are supervising what seems to be happening in the center around this pool. You can see, well, actually, you can't see this yet, but the pool seems to be of the central focus of importance in this space.
Mhm.
Can everyone roll initiative for me?
Yep.
What are we rolling?
Initiative.
Initiative.
18.
I got a 6.
16.
Hogan?
14.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Oh, yes. Okay, so.
Hogan's in front of me, and I just want to whisper to him. I want to say, so what are we doing here now?
Hogan's just gonna kind of casually go back. We're going to die.
Oh, okay. At least I look good doing it.
Ever the pessimist.
I'm sure he would prefer realist.
Well,
Fair enough.
okay. Okay.
It doesn't help that
A lot of
Penny
initiative
decided
to
not
roll.
come with us.
Right? Where the hell is Penny?
And
All right.
and Meryl too. Gosh,
I thought there was more of us before we went in here.
it's so strange.
Sometimes it works out that way. This is the underground. This is the underground for you. Okay, so top of the order is going to be the intellect devourer that is on this closest to where you have all broken through the door, and it is going to run at Hogan and make a claw attack.
All right.
And make a what?
Claw attack. So that's going to be 16. Does that hit?
16 hits.
Okay. That's going to be 6 points of slashing damage. It just picks up one of its nasty chicken brain legs and at you. So it's going to do a little bit of slashing damage. Then we're going to go to Wawatesi. You are next.
Haha, I can see these things, but I'm still behind Hogan, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so I guess I don't need to be like all stealth-like or anything, but I just want to kind of like jab my pointy thing at the brain.
Sure. So you want to attack the intellect devourer? Do you have a rapier or what is?
I do have a rapier.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and make an attack on the intellect devourer. Go for it.
Okay, and I rolled 12 and plus, what do I get to add to that?
Your dex with a rapier.
I know it's high, I just don't know which page I have it on. Plus 2, 14.
That will hit, so you can go ahead and roll damage for that. Yeah. You.
And my rapier is.
And I'll clarify what you're fighting looks like this.
Yes. I zoomed in on it, right? And I was like, oh, don't you hit my friend. Like, just because he said we're all gonna die doesn't mean that he had to go and do that. And I'll be like, take this, mofo. And then it's 1d8 plus 2 piercing damage. And that guy has 5 damage.
Okay. 5, so that's going to.
Did it make a sound? Did it go?
It made a really unpleasant, like, squishing noise.
Oh.
It was a little bit like poking through butter, and like your rapier's unnecessarily greasy. Let's put it that way. Sort of like stabbing bacon.
So I look at it and I was like, this isn't going to work.
I mean, it does work. You do damage to it, and it doesn't like it, but it doesn't have a mouth in the same way that creatures tend to, so it limited on the screaming options.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
It definitely does damage. Neslia, this brings us to you. You are the center focus of this at this moment, so please, what would you like to do?
Can I see the map again? I'm sorry.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
If I had something that had a 20-foot radius, Could I cast it at a point where it would get the 2 mind flayers in the back, but none of the kids, like the teenagers?
If you cast it at the back of the stairs here, where this sort of sarcophagus is at the
Mhm.
top back, that would give you the edge. It'd be close though. You'd be within like 2 feet or so, but you could just make it if you wanted to place it in that back sarcophagus area and expand out.
Okay, I'm gonna do that then. So I'm gonna try and catch both of those illithid in this. So I am gonna cast Hunger of Hadar in
Oh,
the back,
okay.
and it is a 20-foot radius sphere of blackness and cold. It counts as difficult terrain, and if a creature starts its turn in the sphere, it takes 2d6 cold damage.
Okay.
If it
This
ends
isn't a
its
spell?
this is a spell.
Mhm.
This is Hunger of Hadar. It's a 3rd level, so
Oh, but
Yeah.
I thought you ran out of spells. Okay.
This
No,
void
I
is
have
filled
one
with a cacophony of soft whispering and slurping noises that can be heard up to 30 feet away.
I hate that.
Okay.
yep.
This
So
day keeps getting better and better.
if it starts its turn in the sphere, it takes 2d6 cold. If it ends its turn in the sphere, it needs to do a dex saving throw or take 2d6 acid damage, and they're blinded.
Nice.
Oh, I like that. Blinded is
Hey.
good.
That's my wad. Like that's my spells. They're done. I just have cantrips now, so
Well, yeah, but
Okay.
warlocks cantrips are your bread and butter. So
exactly.
don't
So
worry, don't worry.
I just kind of concentrate, and I think of the inky sphere of space where my patron resides, and I cast this slurping, horribly unpleasant sphere of darkness in the back of the room.
I don't like that.
Okay. Well then,
Ugh.
that will okay. So that will encapsulate the 2 mind flayers at the back. It will also include the 2 unconscious people
And-
that are at the back. So they had
Oh no, they're blinded.
We're saving most of them, okay?
as the sphere envelops the mind flayer next to the drum, it smashes the mallet into the drum twice, which releases from the sides of the chamber 2 cloakers, one from each side, that move themselves into the space. None of their cloaking advantages in terms of their ability to see them are going to be active because they have emerged into a lit space. You can see them immediately, but there are now 2 where these 2 bundles of cloakers are emerging from the doorway. There are now 2 cloakers that have emerged. They look like this, that are now flying in the air. But okay, so that's going to do. So they will take damage on their turns. Is that correct, or they take damage right now?
Beginning and end of their turn.
Beginning and end of their turn.
So if they don't move out of it, are they only blinded within the sphere?
No light can illuminate the sphere. Creatures are blinded. I think it's just if they're
Yeah,
in
it
the
would just be
sphere.
within this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ugh, milky
Okay.
otherworld tentacles rub against it, and that's where the damage comes from.
Oh.
Why do they
Oh,
have to be milky?
They say milky, so
this is not looking good at all.
Well, at least it's not
Your
looking
whole
good for the
character
mind
should be on
flayers.
I'm sorry, John.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So the 2 are enveloped, and sorry, they take damage on their turn. Was that
At the
correct?
beginning.
beginning, and then they have to do a saving throw at the end if they're
Okay,
still
perfect.
in the sphere.
Excellent. That's not going to be a problem. Okay. So that will bring us to. Okay. This is very interesting. There are a lot of moving parts. That will bring us to
In the final
second-
battle?
Yes, I know, right? So that'll bring us to the second intellect devourer, who is the one who's on the east side here, the opposite one from the one that attacked Hogan. This one is going to run at Gwen because it can't get close to Neslia, and you are the next closest warm body, so it's going to run at Gwen.
And it has disadvantage on
and
it.
it has disadvantage on its attack roll. Does a 12? It doesn't go anywhere near your armor class. That's hilarious. So it's going to miss, obviously.
Pretty hard to hit a 20 on disadvantage.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. So you are now. It is now within melee range of you, but it's not going to create.
Great.
Not going to do any damage this round.
Really.
I'm going to see this happen, and I'm going to give Gwen like a thumbs up with my black eyes and my like giant.
Crushing it, babe.
Yeah. So the mind flayer that is afraid of Neslia now is going to move itself along the side of the stairs, and it's going to reach out towards you, Wawatesi. Can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Wisdom saving throw. Yep.
Remember, you've got a D4 if you need it.
Yes,
Actually, no.
you are trying to beat.
You have this every turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it because my wisdom doesn't have a plus, but let's see what I roll. Yeah, 9. See?
Okay, so go ahead and add your bonuses.
There is no bonus. That's why I need the 4. So that would be 13 then.
If you get
Sorry.
a 4, it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah. So you are now charmed.
Oh no.
Oh, thank you. I am.
And a voice in your head is going to say, "Oh, welcome. Why don't you prep that last fireball, shall we?" And that's going to leave you there in your spot for right now. That will bring us to the third intellect devourer, who is going to take a run also at Hogan because they cannot go near Neslia. So those are the options. He is also at disadvantage though because he is frightened. And does a 10 hit your armor class, Hogan?
It does not.
Okay, then that one is going to miss as well. That now brings us to Gwen. What would you like to do?
Okay. I have no way of knowing that Wawatesi is charmed.
That's
so
true.
I cannot act on that information. Okay, can you describe the middle portal-ish thing?
So the thing in the center that the teenagers who are in a trance are located around is like a shallow pool. You haven't got close enough to see it very well, but it's a shallow pool of water. It looks like it would have been like a baptismal font or some kind of basin when the temple was not being used by mind flayers for whatever purpose they're currently using it for.
Okay. Okay, I think the best use of my turn is going to be to... This is tough. Okay.
Just
because now there's all three of the brains are next to us.
Yep.
I could do the best move I've got. Okay, this is the best move I've got. I'm gonna do another warding bond on Hogan. So that gives you a +1 to AC and a +1 to saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have 2d4 and a +1 to any saving throw. And you have advantage on intelligence saving throws. So I really don't want you to get charmed.
I'll do my best, Gwen.
But didn't Wawatesi had to do a wisdom saving throw for charmed? That's kind of metagaming, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it's still going to be 2d4 +1 without advantage. So at least there's that. So warding bond also makes it so that anytime you do take damage, you take half as much and I take the other half. And now I'm going to add 5 bonus points to 5 temporary hit points to myself as a bonus action. And that's it. I can't attack this turn, and that's okay.
Okay, you're going to stay where you are? Okay, this brings us immediately to Hogan. So what would you like to do? You've got 2 intellect devourers within melee range of you currently.
Okay.
Well, one of them hits, one of them missed.
Hogan, when he came into the room, took a good survey, especially of the Illithid. Does anything about them seem familiar to him?
No, not particularly. They're a trio. They look as a trio. They look together like this. So there is an
So
older
cool.
one.
They look so sweet.
So the one that's on the front of the stairs is sort of smaller and has a more bluish complexion, and was originally holding 2 psychic blades, and was sort of like obviously guarding the edge of the stairs. This seems to be the one that is in control of the intellect devourers. That seems to be where commands are coming from. The one with the dark hood and the purple, it was the one holding the mallet that is now enveloped by the most disturbing cloud of strange black licking tentacles I've ever heard of. And then the greenish one is the one standing on the opposite side, who is also enveloped right now, who was the one that it seemed to be managing the tadpole insertion process.
This whole
Is this-
thing is just unsettling.
It is a series of words I never want to hear ever again.
Or Milky. I don't want to hear Milky again.
Milky
Milky
tentacles.
tendrils and tadpole insertion
Okay.
process.
So Hogan's familiar with intellect devourers, having spent time around them before, so he is going to punch them. The one that attacked him first, he's going to try and hit that one, just with a regular attack for now.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, that's cocked. Does 19
Don't forget,
hit?
you've got a D4 that you can use for an attack roll or a saving throw. So
Perfect.
if you want to use it now, you can. But if you do, you can't use it for the saving throw.
Sounds good.
19 absolutely hits. Yes.
Perfect. So with this one, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to roll for damage, and then I'm going to add a key point to this one to do stunning strike.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Damage is
Stun strikes are so OP.
1d6 plus, or 1d8 plus 2. Nice. 3 damage. Yay!
Yep.
Minimum roll. Yeah, and then I'm going to burn a key point by adding stunning strike. So they have to make a Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of my next turn. The DC on this one is 13.
Rolled an 18.
Damn little
Whoa.
brain. I'm just going to hit him again.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
punch him a second time. And I'm going to add a D4. Thanks, Gwen. To this one.
You can use it after you roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't have to use it before you roll. So if you know that you hit, you don't have to use it.
I needed it. Just 14 hit.
Yes. Yes.
Yay! Helping.
So
Why don't you can use that as your emboldening bond D4, and you still have your guidance D4. So
Nice.
okay.
whenever, but remember that when you use that guidance D4, it doesn't come back.
Well, to roll for damage, I got another 3.
Okay.
So that's
6 total.
cool. As I hit, though, I'm going all out. Hogan he's a tiny dervish of anger at this point. I'm
charmed.
as a feature of me being a tavern brawler, now that I've connected with this mind flayer, I'm going to grapple it
Okay.
as an additional part of my turn.
Any resistance to that, or you just go for it?
I just grapple.
Okay, great. Yeah, you can just pick this thing up in a uncomfortable football carry with its tongue sort of lashing around your arms. That's where we are. Okay, so you have grappled an intellect devourer. That's going to bring us to Mind Flayer 1, who is in.
He doesn't have to do an athletics check.
I don't think so. It will on the next turn.
I
I'm
thought
just
it
going to go
was-
back and take a look.
I think because
okay,
it's
cool.
a feature of the tavern brawler. It just kind
There's a bonus
Oh,
action to
nice.
grapple. A grapple is a strength check.
Yeah, Hogan essentially
Oh,
punched this thing and then picked it up.
It is a strength check.
Okay.
It is a strength contest.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do that then.
Sorry, teacher, we have homework.
No.
I got homework. I'm charmed.
What did you get?
It's got a 2 and then a 0. A nat 20
Oh, yeah. You just
Hey.
grappled. No problem.
Grappled.
Yeah.
with
so
plus
Hogan is
0 on it, by the way. 20
What?
plus 0.
Oh yeah, you're dex based. Yeah, okay.
All right, and then that thing will take 6 points of damage. Okay, perfect. So that'll bring us to the intellect devour, the first one that is in the disgusting bubble. So let's do the damage on that.
Okay, so that's 2d6 cold,
I love that we have
Milky.
exactly no strength based characters in this party.
right? Okay.
Isn't
Okay,
that queer as
that's
hell? I
4.
love that.
That's not a lot, but 4 cold damage to that one mind flayer.
Okay. And then they can roll it. They can try to leave. Is that the plan?
Yes, but it is considered difficult terrain to leave.
I bet. Okay. Then this mind flayer is going to attempt to leave this awful place for obvious reasons. So he's going to head for the main. He's going to try to leave the bubble and head directly for the pool.
Yeah, because he is technically blinded, so he's just like.
Okay. Yeah, he's just going to attempt to move forward. So for difficult terrain, so he can move half of his movement. That will bring him out to the edge of it. He will be able to break out of this at the end, and will look. Sort of, his tentacles are shivery, and unpleasant. He's a little frosty everywhere. So yeah, so that's what he's going to get a chance to do just because of the difficult terrain. So that's going to leave him there. So let's roll damage. Now we're going to the second mind flayer in the bubble. So let's roll damage for him.
Oh, that is better. That is 12 cold damage to that guy.
Ooh.
Double 6s.
I need somebody to hold me. It's chilly.
Yeah, you do have you have like a permanent psychic connection with the monster that has charmed you. So you would feel what they would theoretically feel, although the one that's charmed you is not in the bubble. So, okay. And same thing. So it's going to do the same thing. It's going to try to move forward as much as it possibly can, which will give it space to just get out of the bubble at this point. So, the hunger of Hardar exists. It's just slurping away at the back of the room.
How long does that last?
It's concentration. So if I drop my concentration, seeing that they come out of it, then it's done. But it is a full minute if I keep concentration on it.
Okay.
It is a full minute.
Okay. And you have no other concentration things to do, so
No,
there's no
everything
reason
else.
you would want to drop it.
I'm going to keep it up.
Yeah.
May as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got some things I might be able to do with it.
Yeah, if we can push them back into it, that would be.
So the two cloakers are going to bring themselves up in the air, and they're going to fly at the door. It seems like they're trying to fly at you directly, at Hogan and Gwen and Wawatesi, who is not aware really that this is happening. So these two cloakers are going to make a beeline for the door. These are the monsters that have been flying clearly out of this temple to the surface, and so they are going to make us fly at both of you. On the way by, they're going to try to smack you with their tails.
How have they been getting out if we had to burst our way in?
There's more than one door in this temple, but
And
you
what
are
if I
now.
don't think the other door. They could just
Spoiler.
be polite. They could just be polite and go out their normal door. This is rude.
12 for
They're
Hogan,
being
17.
rude.
Yeah, I know. They are. Well, there are abominations, in all fairness. They're like, is this the
Yeah,
face
I've been
of
there.
your mother?
Yeah, I've had mornings where I wake up looking like that. So.
Yeah. Hogan,
I've been called an abomination my whole life.
Hogan, does a 12 hit your armor class?
It does not.
And then Gwen for a 17 doesn't hit yours? Okay, so
Sure
no
doesn't.
damage. They both miss you on their way out, but they're gonna get past you, which gives you both an attack of opportunity. Which, if you would like to take advantage of that, please go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nope.
Also, nope.
What
It
did
was
you
an
both roll?
11.
Okay, yeah, no. So you're gonna both miss. No damage done, but the cloakers have escaped this space now.
Sad.
All right, so that's gonna bring us to the top of the order, which is the intellect devourer, who is going to. Who's on
So
the
that
stairs?
would be the one.
That's the one that's grappled, right?
I
Sorry,
thought
not
the first
the
one.
intellect. Yes, you're right. The internet. This is the intellect devourer that is currently grappled. So he'll do a strength check to try to break the grapple, I assume.
Back down.
Things have-
Is that at the beginning or end of his turn?
I mean, he's grappled, so it'd have to be now because he can't do anything else while he's grappled.
Can't they attack if?
Mm,
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
They can. Well, actually, yes.
I
Well,
thought that their speed was 0, but they could still attack.
it's just that their attack is really quite. I'm trying to decide if it wants to do that yet or not. It can't
Ooh.
claw attack. Actually, you know what? That is what it's
It doesn't want to do that.
No, it doesn't want to do that other thing it wants to do. That's a terrible thing, and it shouldn't do that thing.
That other thing, it doesn't really want to do.
Hogan, can you
Oh,
give me a intelligence check?
I sure
With
can
advantage,
at advantage.
And you have a +1 and a D4 baseline, and then one last D4 for a final line of defense.
I will use one of those D4s. $13.
That will pass.
Wait. Hold up. With advantage, with a +1, with a D4, you got a 13.
That is correct.
Yes, you passed by 1.
Oh,
You just
Okay.
passed. So
Did
you
use
are.
both D4s?
Shh. I only used one D4.
Okay.
So
It's
that
fine.
is going to be.
It turned out great.
Wawatesi, you have been commanded to make a fireball.
What do I get to do then?
So you are going to start making this fireball, and it's also gonna ask you to please. It's going to say, "Please come forward, my child." So you are going to begin walking towards the mind flayer in the center of the stairs, while fire grows in your hands.
Is there any way that Wawatesi is thinking about fire, and fire is light, and wants to sing, and happens to sing a cantrip of light, and tries to touch the brain?
You can do what you can do. Okay, so in order to try to throw this off, you will have to take some kind of damage. And every time you take damage, you can do a wisdom saving throw to break the charm. So right now, unless you take any damage as you are walking forward, you're walking through the space, which is possible, it's a bit chaotic, you are charmed and will continue to follow that. So for this turn, you are currently charmed.
stub your toe.
So, yeah, right. I guess I'm going to move forward.
That's what we're going to do. Neslia, you see this happening, and what would you like to do? It's your turn now.
So I kind of see because I'm still close to the mind flayer that's kind of scared of me right now.
Yes, you
And
are.
I see him kind of, is he like beckoning or is just all psychic? But he's
telepathic.
looking at her.
But you can, explicitly the party had said to Wawatesi, because of the chaos in the temple, no more fireballs. So that would be a thing that would be, you could have a moment with, because there was explicit conversation about the choice to do that in the past. And then also, Wawatesi has gone from sort of a defensive stance to this, very casual strolling through the center of the battle. So you can make what you would like from that.
Yeah.
James is being a very nice DM right now.
He is being very nice.
This is incredibly generous.
I know, and I kind of feel like in 6 seconds I wouldn't really be able to parse at this point. So I'm gonna look at the mind flayer because I feel like he's doing something, and I'm gonna shout no, and I'm gonna cast my coiling grasp tattoo. So the tentacles are gonna shoot out of my hands, and I'm gonna try and grapple that mind flayer with my tentacle tattoos.
Okay. Any save against this?
A strength saving throw with a DC of 14.
Yeah, strength saves for Illithid are good.
Okay. Rolled a natural 1.
Yes.
Oh, a show.
Okay, so he takes 3d6 force damage.
Damn.
which will be 13 force damage and is now grappled by my tattoo. So I'm like,
Yeah.
no, and I'm just going to grapple it.
Okay, that will break his concent. Is there any? Oh, he took damage, so that breaks his concentration spell on Wawatesi. Wawatesi, you are back to yourself. And
Doesn't he have to roll concentration though? Doesn't he get to roll Constitution save to keep concentration?
Sure. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whatever, half the amount of damage is what he has to be, or I think 10 is the minimum. Is there a minimum for that? I mean, look.
We'll do a minimum. 10 is a fair minimum. Yeah. So let's give that a shot. Let's see if he can make it better than a 10 to keep concentration. Got a 12. So Wawatesi, you're still charmed.
Okay, but he is grappled.
But he is grappled. Absolutely. Okay, so that will bring us to Neslia. Anything else you want to do from here?
Yeah,
Sorry. Actually, yes. Because he is frightened of me, I can do him extra necrotic damage. So I'm going to do, it's equal to my level, so 6 necrotic damage. Because screw that guy in particular.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Equal to 10 or half the damage to Ever's greater. So yeah, so equal to 10 would have worked in that circumstance. All right. So that brings us to the Intellect Devourer that is the other one that is fighting with Gwenifer. So same thing. He's going to take a claw swipe at you.
Yeah.
And misses badly. Misses really badly. Gwenifer, it is your turn.
What did he roll?
A 4.
Okay. I am in melee range of only one of them, right? Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
So, if that's the case, I believe Hogan is within 10 feet-ish, would you say?
Yep.
How far is Wawatesi?
Probably 10 feet in front of you. They haven't gotten that far up to the front.
And then
they're not quite up the stairs. And then Neslia is a little bit beyond that. So they're getting close to each other. Neslia, you're in the air. Is that correct?
No, they're flightless wings. I just have giant, scary wings.
All right.
Neslia, have you taken damage? Are you at full health?
I am not at full health, but I haven't taken damage at this point. But I'll put it in the chat what I am.
And
So
Hogan?
Not full.
Hogan did take some slashing.
Yeah.
Some damage.
Hogan took 5 damage recently.
I'm trying to decide if I want to do one of my healing things right now or if I want to save it.
I would save it.
Because I can heal everybody right now if I want to.
Is it a big heal or a small heal?
It's 2d6 plus my wisdom modifier.
That's a big
So
heal. I would save that.
Maybe save it for a tiny bit.
Yeah, okay. So then if that's the case, then I will just I'm just gonna hit it. I'm just gonna keep things simple. I'm only I'm only in melee range of one of them, right? Yeah. So I'll just hit him. I'll just try to hit him. Yeah, it's 24.
That'll hit. Yes, that will hit.
For 11 damage. And this is force damage, and now they have disadvantage on attacking anyone that's not me.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, it didn't like that very much at all.
No.
Hogan, that brings us to you. You are currently in an uncomfortable, non-consensual hug with a brain. What would you like to do?
I know I'm grappled with it, but can I keep attacking it while I'm grappled with it, or I can?
Yeah, you can hug punch it if you want to.
I would very much like to unarmed hug punch the Mind Flayer.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, that one's not going to hit. And then the next one, because I'm going to use my additional action. There we go.
Burn those dice. Those dice are terrible.
24 for the second one.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
Okay. 5. So 7 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. This one in your arms, that's such a strange phrase, is not looking great. It's not doing well. It's starting to sort of like sag to one side, and like two of its limbs are getting a little limp. It's a little bit less.
Saying its safe word at this point.
It's thinking about it, and there's a pun. Okay. Cool. I didn't do anything else.
That's all I want to do at this time. Thank you.
It's got a lot on its mind, okay?
Hey.
Oh.
Oh.
Did I bruise its ego?
Oh.
Something like that. Okay, so Mind Flayer, who has just shooken off this sort of disgusting goo, is going to step so that he's standing behind the teenager who is controlling this large bowl of energy, this trance bowl of energy, and he's going to tap her on the back of the head, and all 4 children are going to fall face first into the water of the fountain. And they are going to begin to start drowning. And then he is going to look out at all of you collected in sort of a pack along the stairs here, and he is going to send out a blast in a 60-foot cone. I need all of you to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
Okay.
At advantage.
Me too?
Everybody. Yeah.
I made. Okay, do I have anything more on this?
You have to beat a 15.
I got 15.
I didn't succeed.
Okay, that's okay. So Hogan, Neslia, and Gwen, you're all good?
15 on the dot, thanks to my additional D4.
19.
Plus 1.
So Wawatessi, you're just going to take a little bit of psychic damage.
Oh.
It's going to be 7 points of psychic damage, which you don't notice in this moment, but you will eventually notice later.
Does she get to remake her wisdom save now?
Yes, and now you have taken damage, so you can make a wisdom saving throw to break.
So that's actually best case scenario that you were the only person who got hit.
Yeah.
So can I ask a question? That psychic damage, does that come as collective? It's just psychic damage, but it still is taken off of my hit points?
Yeah, it works exactly the same as any other kind of damage. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to start. It's my first hit point, so I just want to keep track of it.
Aww.
So that's perfect. And you can now make a wisdom saving throw to try to break out of the charm.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
So you come to, and there's half a fireball ready to go in your hand. And so we'll come back to you in that moment when we come back to your turn. But yes, you are no longer charmed. Okay, so that brings us to Mind Flayer number 2.
I got to get a charger.
Yes, no problem. Who is going to rush over to the pool and begin scooping something out of the water. He's completely ignoring the teenagers that have been doused in it, and he is collecting them he's collecting whatever he is scooping out in sort of a completely opaque black jar.
They're the worms. I know it.
And that is what he's going to do.
Gross.
The cloakers are gone. Okay, so that's going to bring us to the intellect devourer that is fighting with Hogan, that is not being hugged by Hogan. Who's going to slash at your ankles?
Cool.
And
Still has disadvantage.
And has disadvantage, so he's going to miss. He rolled an 8. So that will bring us to Wawatessi. You have come to in this moment, or we might need to come back around. Maybe we'll come back around.
I think Wawatessi's holding her turn, it seems.
Oh, there we go.
She's back.
Okay. So Wawatessi, you have come back to yourself, and you are holding a half-formed fireball in your hands. You are 20 feet from where you remember being a second ago. What would you like to do?
What do I see in front of me, other than the fireball?
So right in front of you is one of the Mind Flayers. You're 5 feet away from it.
Okay, but I'm going to look at this ball, and I'm going to look at him, and I'll go, what the fuck? And I'm going to cantrip vicious mockery on that motherfucker's ass.
Do it.
Oh, you think you're so smart, eh? You think you're so smart? You think you're the big brains, eh?
I love the fact that he's being grappled and like taking this attack. Just like,
oh, you freaking hosiery.
It's what we learned in the ghetto. Vicious mockery comes from the ghetto, friends.
Okay, so go. You can cast Vicious Mockery. So just let me know what that damage ends up being. He's at disadvantage. He's grappled, and so just let me know what he needs to do to make. It's a charisma save.
Okay. It is DC 15 Wisdom save, and it's 2d4 psychic damage.
Okay, let's see if they can make it. Wisdom save.
It's a wisdom save.
Disadvantage on it.
Oh, badly.
Yeah, he's not going to make it. He will not make it.
Excellent.
So Vicious Mockery it is. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Yep. So 2d4, total of 5 psychic damage. Take that. Just give me 7.
Excellent.
We are not a party of big damage dealing.
Just little bits, little touches.
Neslia, that will bring us to you. What would you like to do?
Okay. So this is kind of when I was psychically linked with them, when I kind of was still pretending that I was going to help. Did I learn anything about this pool and why it's important?
They're here to conduct a revivification ritual that is the way in which mind flayers are made. Usually about 25 mind flayers are made at a time. What they are protecting in this pool are grown tadpoles that have been taken from the elder brain and have been brought here and put in the water here for protection while they were acquiring the number of humanoids that were required in order to implant each of these.
Okay.
So 2 of these have been implanted so far, and the remaining 23 have been scooped up, are being scooped up right now and put into a jar. So these 3 are a team that has come here to, using the cloakers to acquire unconscious individuals from the city, bring them in here, implant all of the tadpoles, and then march these burgeoning mind flayers back down into the Underdark.
Okay. Cool. So, seeing that he's like scooping up all these gross, disgusting tadpoles, and that's coming from me, so that's pretty bad. I'm going to, my tattoos don't require concentration, so that guy's still held. And this is a cantrip, so I'm going to cast Firebolt on the jar.
Okay.
Try and burst the jar so that all the tadpoles kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe get like fire damage because it's going to be a fire blast.
And if you have an electricity attack at some point, that'd be great.
I don't. I just have fire and ice, it looks like. So
Ice is cool.
Okay.
Ice freezes water.
I know, but my ice is touch, so I have to touch it.
Okay, go
That
ahead
might be
and Firebolt is a cantrip, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Go
Ranged
ahead.
spell attack. That is 17 to hit the jar. I really hope it hits the jar.
It's going to hit the jar. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it's going to take 1d10 fire damage.
Okay.
Come on, big money, no
Oh,
whammies.
no, it was pottery, and it was like in a kiln.
It's fire resistant.
It made it stronger.
Don't give the TM ideas.
It built
He already
character.
said it was clear.
Cured the pot.
Curse you, physics.
That's 7 points of fire damage to the jar. So I'm hoping it breaks and maybe toasts some of the tadpoles.
7 points of fire damage. Yeah, the jar is made of black glass, and that is hot enough it will explode the jar. You certainly will fry a couple of tadpoles. This you'll have to find out. But you see the mind flayer who's been scooping them up freaks out. You can see the reaction immediately and is showered in glass, and there are tadpoles on the floor in the pool.
It takes 2d6 damage of piercing damage from the glass.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, that sounds really correct.
10, if it was over 10, yes, but under 10, no residual shrapnel, not this time.
I would have had to crit damage on that.
I did think about it for a second.
Good try.
We
good
gotta
try.
try.
So just at the end of my turn, I've got my grapple up. I'm going to psychically send a message to Gwyn saying the tadpoles are baby illithid and they're creating more illithid through this ritual.
I don't like that at all.
I can talk in your brain now. Hi. Isn't this fun?
I'm
We
naturally
talk
not
all
a
the
breeder.
time.
I'm against procreation.
Okay, awesome. That'll bring us to the intellect devourer that's been missing Hogan consistently. So he's going to continue to bite at your ankles. He's going to miss again.
I love this
missing
guy.
missing you consistently. It's like that
Aw,
little
yeah.
puppy in Looney Tunes where the other dog holds it back and the other one's like,
Yeah. Mind Flayer 1, who's currently grappled, is going to attempt. Can he attempt to break that grapple?
Yeah, it's just a regular grapple. It's
Okay,
nothing
so
special.
just a strength contest.
Yeah,
Check?
strength contest.
All right, so let's. Oh, sorry, not the intellect devourer. The mind flayer who is being restrained by Nestlea's tattoo is the one that I need to. Yeah. So can he break it? Is it a strength check to break it, or is it?
Athletics or acrobatics check
Oh,
with a DC of 14, and it's because it's an ability check. He does have disadvantage on that
okay.
because I am terrifying beyond all reason.
So he has to beat a 15. Was that right?
14.
14.
Athletics or acrobatics.
Nope.
I
That's
don't
not
see
going to
the
happen.
athletics type.
He's not going to beat it.
I don't know. He seems like a gym bro to me.
He did have the daggers, right?
He is going to attack though. He's going to whip out at you, Nestlea, psychically. Can you give me a charisma check, please?
Ooh, I'm very charismatic. $22.
Yes. So for this brief moment, there are these thoughts of self-doubt that start to fog into the center of your brain, and then they're just cleared out immediately. And it does not work. So,
Yeah.
okay. That brings us to the mind flayer that is being hugged by Hogan. So we'll do a strength check.
Damn, I wasted a nat 20.
How about 13? How does
13 versus 19.
Okay, yeah, nope, then it's not going anywhere.
I just see Hogan with this like giant brain in his arms. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's probably very squishy, hey? And there's like cerebral juices.
You're hugging like 200 pounds of wet sentient bacon with chicken legs.
That is the grossest thing I've ever.
Just a Friday night for Hogan.
that's just another thing, right? Like milky and now this and oh
This
yeah.
whole area is just
Yeah.
horrible.
Are we gonna have to roll
We're having
constitution checks
fun
soon?
tonight, friends.
So what we'll do is we're gonna go through this round, and then we'll take a 5-minute break just to give everybody a chance to have a little bit of an intermission, and we'll come back. So
I've got a fun move I have planned.
you are next, Gwen. So you can go to, we got Gwen and Hogan, and then the two mind flayers in the back, and then we'll take an intermission. So go ahead, Gwennifer, it's yours.
Okay. How far away is the pool?
From where you are, 25 feet.
Good. Would you say that a commoner has around 10 HP?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay. I believe it was within the last turn that the four youth fell face first into the pool. They are not going to survive for very long. They are presumably not even aware that they're trying to struggle to stay alive. So Gwen has this internal moment of basically the trolley problem, where she's like, there's 4 innocent people there. There are countless people that will be destroyed if all these illithid are allowed to remain alive. And especially if the illithid in the pool are allowed to grow into full-born monsters. And so with that in mind, she's going to run to the center of the pool.
Okay.
So she's going to take an opportunity attack, I presume.
Yes. No, because the illithid you're running past is completely grappled.
No, from the intellect devour.
No, the one of them is being hugged. The other one is too far away from you, and
I thought it was
you're
the
clear.
third. I thought that I was.
Oh,
I
you-
thought that I
sorry.
was attacking.
You're right. You are fighting one. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. So you will take an attack of opportunity from them. But let's
Yeah.
see. I mean, given your, yeah, it was a 7, so you're fine.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting it to hit me, so.
And then you can make it past that illithid because they're completely grappled, and the teenagers in the fountain are unconscious. So you've got a clear shot.
I'm going to run into the pool, to
Okay.
the center of the pool, and I'm going to cast Thunder Wave.
Okay.
Everything within a 15-foot cube has to make a Constitution save, and anything that fails is pushed 10 feet back, including the people.
Okay.
So my thought is twofold. One, the water's going to be crazy dispersed.
Mhm.
2, the people are hopefully going to be pushed back out of the water. 3, the illithid will be hurt. This might kill them, but it's their best shot at survival.
And
Because
hopefully
I do
they'll
not
get
have enough time to save any one of them, let alone all 4 of them.
pushed into the hunger of Hadar that's still up.
Yeah. They
Sure.
will, if the illithid fail this, they will. That's what I wanted to ask, is if Hadar is still, if the portal is still open. Okay.
Yeah, 1 minute, and I'm still concentrating on it.
All right. Okay, so all of the 4, so go ahead and do Thunder Wave. The 4 teenagers are not going to be able to save anything against it, so they will definitely get pushed back. It will be the illithid.
4 damage.
Woo!
Okay. All right.
They're not dead.
They're not dead. They're not dead.
Unless they suffer fall damage.
Shh. It's not 10 feet falling.
It's out. They're on the
It's-
ground. They're
Oh,
just
right,
gonna
they're going back now. Done
It's
this damage.
lateral.
they're basically gonna
Lateral
get
movement.
some road rash, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Fine, they're kids. They'll be
So
fine.
They'll bounce
the 4
back.
teenagers, the impact hits them, and they all they've all were standing or kneeling around the pool and have flopped into it, and that's going to push them backwards. So they're all going to end up their backs are on their sides. They are unconscious. They have been unconscious since they hit the water. And it will push the 2 illithid that are remaining back. I believe 15. Is it 15 feet or 10?
10. It's
Either way,
within
it'll
its
push them
15
5 feet.
cube, pushing them 10 feet away.
Yeah, so that it will glorp them both back into Hodar's milky tentacle nightmare. Okay, which is going to be their. So that's great. So that absolutely worked. So the pool is clear. There was only about 3 feet of water in the pool, so it is effectively empty, which means it has also been cleared of tadpoles. So there are like wiggling small tadpoles on the floor around these unconscious.
They would have each taken 4 points of damage too.
Yes, they definitely have. I marked that on their sheets. So they took the damage and got pushed back into the milky tentacle. Okay, that's great. That brings us to Hogan. What would you like to do? So Gwen has just ran into the center of the pool, and you've seen both illithids get sucked back into the darkness behind them.
Hogan's just gonna kind of give a tiny bit of applause, like, yeah. Not sure about Neslia. No idea what Wabutesi's doing. He's just gonna keep punching the brain.
Yeah, you've got the brain in hand, literally.
So that should be 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Sweet. 4 damage.
Finally.
Well, give it a rest because my damage is low. For actually 5 points of damage.
That's not too bad. That's too
exactly
bad.
what you need.
It's like boink.
Wait, was
Exactly
that
what you need to kill this creature. So how do you want to do this?
Oh.
I want to,
Killed it.
in an uncharacteristic show of rage, I know, Hogan's just going to raise this thing up above his head as best as he can and slam it into the ground with as much force as he can carry.
That'll do it.
Touchdown.
Then he's just going to grab some of it and kind of smear it on his face like, ah!
No, that's disgusting.
Okay.
That's so gross.
How far away is the next closest intellect
It's
devourer?
right on you. It's been slashing at you this whole
Oh,
time.
yeah,
so it's
it has.
Right there. Yeah. So
I'm going to
you
go
can
for
do
the
whatever
next
you
one.
want. Yeah, go ahead.
13 plus D4. 15. Does 15 hit?
That'll hit. Yep.
Yeah, nice. I'm gonna do D8. So 10 points of damage.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to, once again, stunning strike this one.
Is this
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
the brain, an intellect devour or an illithid?
Intellect devour.
Power.
Okay. Just try. I would say definitely try to save enough key
Yep.
points to do that to the illithid as well.
It is next on my list. So has to make a Constitution save at 13 DC.
Okay. Does not make it.
Yeah. So it is now
Stunned, right?
stunned. Yeah, which is not a regular status.
I don't think they can do anything.
I think.
Stunned is basically you lose a turn, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
you're incapacitated.
Yeah, incapacitated.
Okay,
Excellent.
so this thing, you're going to punch this thing especially hard in maybe a very specific part of its brain, and it's going to knock it over, and its legs are going to kind of twitch for a minute, and it is not going to be able to attack on its turn.
I also want it to forget a cherished memory from me
Okay.
hitting it right in the brain.
Wow.
Something that really fills it with joy and happiness. I want that gone.
Okay, you can do that. You can do that. No prom for Billy. You get it.
Intellect Devourer prom.
Yeah.
Aw.
Aw.
It's just a lot of mind reading and mind games.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That's it.
So that will bring us to the first mind flayer who's now in the glorp. So let's do the damage on number 1, who's been shoved back into the nasty portal.
6 cold.
Okay.
Frosty.
All right, and then the second one, so that one's going to do the same thing. He's just going to sort of work his way out again. Same thing. He's going to head in the same direction directly forward, and is going to arrive relatively. Is actually going to get right up to Gwennifer, since you are standing in the center of the pool now. Yeah. And is going to descend 2 psychic blades and make 2 attacks against you, slashing. One of those is a 21. The other one is a 6.
Mean.
So I'm guessing the 21 works. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to take 5 points of slashing damage and 7 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Dang.
That guy's going to do. So we'll go for the next Mind Flayer. So go ahead and give me the cold damage on that second guy.
Give him brain freeze.
5 cold. Oh, great.
Not bad. And he's going to also use his movement to come out on the other side. And he is going to attempt to charm you, Gwen. So can you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
This is so tense.
Go, Gwen. You can do it.
Go, Gret.
What did you get? It's math tension.
Yes, such math tension.
What did you get, Gwen? What did you get?
Yeah, it's like you're killing us here. So much suspense.
One that doesn't know what to do with his hands, another one that doesn't know how to add.
What do you think?
Yeah. What did you get, Gwen?
Just make something up.
Wait,
Not-
what?
You're rolling.
Yeah, you're rolling. You wisdom
I
saving
did not
throw.
realize I was wrong. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
okay. No, that's
I did
okay.
not
Wisdom
realize I
saving
was
throw.
rolling. I thought that you guys were talking about Neslia, and I was like, man, Neslia's taking a long time to roll. Okay, well, I don't know.
This is you.
I'm so sorry. You don't have to roll.
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, I got this. I'm so sorry. I was looking up a spell, and so
No,
I thought it was my turn, and so I could
No.
do something.
Gwynnifer was actually really thinking about Hogan hugging the brain.
Yeah.
I only got a
Sorry, what
10.
did you get?
Only got a 10.
Okay. You are officially charmed
Yep.
Oh no.
by this monster. So for that will bring us to the end of the round. Let's take 5 minutes. We'll come back and we will see where we go from here. Thank you.
Sounds great.
Sorry about that, guys.
All good.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to head on back in. So, top of the order, we have the Intellect Devourer that was originally fighting with Gwennifer, who is now on his own and is going to head to Hogan, who has just stunned and squished his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
And it will attack
Hogan,
with disadvantage because it's not attacking me.
correct, and it will attack with disadvantage. Well, not for this particular attack.
Ooh, what about my disadvantage? Because it can still see me and it's scared.
I think it's an attack roll, though. Like, I think if it's not an attack roll, if it's an ability, then it probably wouldn't have.
This is an ability in this.
Mine is ability or attack rolls. So.
Oh, okay.
Ability or attack, because it's so scared of me.
So Hogan, you're going to, in that case, you're going to make an intelligence saving throw with advantage.
But you were going to have advantage anyway.
Yeah. 19 minus 1, 18.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So this thing is going to attempt to eat your brain psychically, and it's not going to work.
Oh
So,
no, Hogan's not having any of that.
second time this does not work. That brings us back to Wawatesi. What would you like to do? So you're standing in front of this grappled mind flayer who you have just viciously mocked. And what would you like to do?
I think I'm going to stab him. Thank you.
Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead and make an attack.
And my dice roll is 13.
You can attack with advantage because he is grappled.
Oh, yeah, okay. What does that do then?
You can roll 2 d20s and take the higher number for your attack.
Oh, okay. 19.
That will certainly hit. Yes.
Better than an 11.
Yep, true. Go ahead and roll your rapier damage.
My rapier damage. Sorry, that was my dagger. Okay. 1d8 plus 2. Oh, I had a plus 5 to attack to hit anyways. 2d8 and roll, and the total will be 11 points.
Ooh,
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, how about that?
Did not like that very much. Okay, so because he can't do anything else on his turn, he is just going to send Gwen directly into the black pool to the north of.
That sounds like the best place for me right now.
Yeah. So he is going to
Think of it as a spa treatment, darling.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna run right in there. Yeah.
Love it.
You will be in the horde of Hadar when we come back to you.
Perfect. Excellent.
I've been rolling really badly on my damage, so.
So Neslia, that brings us to you. What would you like to do?
Okay. You know what? I am going to. That's actually a good call. Seeing Gwen run into the blackness, I'm going to drop my concentration on the spell.
Okay.
That way I don't hurt her at all. So.
Cool. Okay, yeah, no problem. So the back is now no longer the most disturbing portal of milky tentacles available to us.
Exactly.
I'm really disappointed at this point. I'm just like, oh. So normal.
This was gonna be so normal. I'm gonna turn my attention to the illithid that I'm grappling.
Yep.
And I am going to do 2 agonizing blasts to the back. If he's facing me, his face. If not, the back of his head.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so ranged spell attack. Ooh. 13 to hit.
A 13 will not hit.
Okay. So my first blast.
What about the plus D4?
Oh!
Don't lose all your concentration.
I do have that D4. I forgot about that.
Yep, go ahead.
That's plus 4, so.
That will hit.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. So that's 1d10 plus my charisma modifier. So that is That's 12 points of force damage. And because he's scared of me, I am going to add D6, or no, my level for necrotics, so 6.
Okay. Okay, didn't like that at all. Can't do anything about it because he's grappled, but
Okay. And then I'm going to do another blast right to the back of his head.
do it.
16.
Will hit. Yes.
And an additional 10 force damage.
How do you want to do this?
Yes! Fuck you, Illithid! And I'm just going to, as I blast him, I'm going to psychically link with him and be like, this is what true horror looks like. And I'm going to use my psychic connection with my patron Cthulhu, and I'm going to pour that image into his head about this is what you should be scared of as he's dying.
Hey.
Damn!
And the mic drops.
Yeah.
Hey. He just drops to the ground. Dead.
Eat a dick.
Okay. Excellent. Anything
don't
else
wanna
you'd like to do?
I just want to see. Okay, so this is kind of the weird thing. So if a creature is more than 15 feet away from me that has my tattoo grapple,
Mhm.
I can use this tattoo on a different creature. If I move away from him, could I move it and try to grapple one of the other Illithid, or are we just dropping it?
Like
Because
dexterity check
Illithid
or something?
have been forced back into where the bubble was. They're
Mhm.
further away than 15 feet.
Could I
You can use your
move?
movement, though, yeah.
Okay, I'll move as close to. I don't care about the teenagers, so I'm just going to step over them, and I'm just going to move closer to the.
I
one
don't
of
think
the-
they're in immediate danger right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so do
that's
you
fine.
want to go for the Illithid on the east side who had the mallet and the jar previously, or the one on the opposite side?
the mallet
Draw
one,
back?
and I want to move my tattoo to try and grapple them.
Okay, and is strength contest for that, or
Strength saving throw.
strength saving throw? Okay.
DC of 14. So
Nope, rolled a 2.
okay, so he is now grappled.
Okay, so
Dang, this tattoo is so handy.
Yeah, it really is.
all right, perfect. Okay, so that brings us to the intellect devourer who is currently stunned. He's going to not be able to do anything this turn because he is stunned, so that's not going to happen. That brings us, and we've killed everything between those two, so that brings us to Gwen. What would you like to do?
I don't know. What do I want to do?
She's still
Charmed.
brain
You
bagged.
are standing between. Oh yes, you are charmed, right? So
She could
What
try
do I
and
get
do a
to do?
break, can't she?
Only if she gets hurt.
So,
Oh, right.
going to start.
Master, what is it that you need? Are you hurt right now?
You are going to pick up the body of the teenager that was standing with arms outraged on the far
Yeah.
side and begin carrying her back towards the sarcophagus at the top of the temple.
Because they need to be in the sarcophagus, obviously.
Yeah. That's exactly where you want to take them. Yeah. So
Okay.
that is what you're going to. You're going to scoop her up and begin
Great.
walking her to the back.
And this is the
I
one
mean,
that's.
I feel like I can use all my movement for that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
You
I
can
I
get
just
her
want
into the sarcophagus all at once.
Is it enough movement that I can do two? Like, would two fit in one sarcophagus?
The only one, then the voice in your head is the only one that's important is the one that you've just placed in the sarcophagus. So
Okay.
you'll end your turn back there, and you've just placed
Yeah.
her in this space. Yeah.
And this is
You
this
don't
is
want
the
me to
one
do any
that's-
spells or any actions?
No, they want you to. They're going to have you hold your action, and you're just going to stand by.
Okay,
the
what am I
body.
holding it to do?
You will. What are your existing spells right now that you have?
I will
prepared?
list them.
Okay.
Okay, I have one spell slot left for first and one for second.
Okay.
Here are my spells: Magic Missile, Sanctuary, Heroism, Thunderwave, Bless, Command, Detect Magic, Identify, Featherfall, Cure Wounds, Healing Word. Those are
Okay.
my first level. My second level are Aid, Locate Object, Prayer of Healing, Warding Bond, Vortex Warp, which is it's like Misty Step, but you do it on someone else, like an enemy. Then
Okay,
there's
so-
my cantrips are message, mending, spare the dying, told the dead, and guidance.
Okay. So you're going to cast Locate Object, and
Mhm.
that's going to create a magical aura that lights up around all of the tadpoles that are still twitching on the floor. And your next turn will be collecting them.
So what precisely am I locating then?
Yeah, so you can see them all now, and you're going to be able to pick them all up.
So wouldn't that be locate creature?
Well, that's a good question, actually. Hang on a second. It just has to be an object that is familiar to you within 1,000 feet.
So we're objectifying these worms then. I see how it is.
You're magically objectifying the tadpole.
I feel like this is probably the most problematic thing I'm gonna do this campaign, but I'm gonna objectify all these little worms. So great, that sounds great. What can I put them in?
You're going to start eating them.
Okay, great, awesome, great. Okay, so I go to pick up the teen, and as I go, I'm kind of like looking for any worms that are nearby, thinking like, okay, so they're closest, so I'm gonna go get them, and trying to like plan out my route so I can eat as many of them as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
And then I drop off the teen at the sarcophagus and get ready to move on from there.
Okay, perfect. Give me a d20 roll to see how many of them you manage to eat while you're doing that.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Cool.
12.
Okay, you eat 12 of them.
I eat 12 of them.
In 6 seconds.
I mean,
Well,
they're really
I'm glad that they provided treats on this adventure.
There were 25 tadpoles. Neslia fried 5 of them. So
okay. So I've only got 8 more to find. Great.
Is there any like cocktail sauce or anything, or are you just eating these?
And that
raw?
also
The blood of the brain that you killed.
That also spends my last second level spell, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Good times.
Hogan, that brings us to you.
Hogan looks at Neslia and is just like, I trust you now. And then tries to look at Gwen and just kind of, what the fuck? Watching her drop this is the teenager that they picked up matches the description for Ziliana, yeah?
Yep, that's correct.
Hogan's aware of this, and he's going to try to go over to the sarcophagus. How far would you say it is from me right now? More than 40 feet?
It's just about 40 feet. You will encounter a mind flayer on that side on your way there as well.
That's fine.
Are you still at the very beginning of this room? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hogan is
still
at the
at the
bottom
front.
still.
I was punching brains. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I
I'm eating brains. So
just want to see if I can do something else in the meantime. Okay, so I'm going to run by the Illithid. I'm making my way towards the sarcophagus. I'm going to spend a key point to do Step of the Wind, basically allowing myself the disengage or dash. So I'm going to put, once I do get into close combat range with them, I'm going to disengage.
Okay.
And keep going to the sarcophagus to try to remove this person from the sarcophagus.
Sure. Yep. Let's see. There'll be. Let me see. There's going to be an attack of opportunity since you're running so close to this Illithid, who's the one that isn't grappled, and so is like the most.
Okay.
So the Mind Flayer is going to try to intercept you, and is going to attempt to attack you with its tentacles.
Oh boy, I knew this was coming.
Okay. So it can make 4 tentacle attacks.
Oof.
Why not? Bring it. Come on.
Come on, put him up.
2 of those are going to miss completely. 2 of them are an 18 and a 16.
Both of those hit.
Okay.
Wish you were in Gwen's shoes. I mean, armor now, eh?
Right? Gwen? What are you doing, Gwen?
You must have given so much to us. Give us your armor, too.
You should eat some of these worms, too. They're really good.
So that's going to be 13 points of psychic damage.
Cool. It's good. It's good.
You will be able to get
better if
away.
you just gave up and let them eat your brain.
No!
Just Hogan, just lie down. Stop fighting.
Yeah, so this thing's going to like garble your face with its tentacles, and you're going to get out of its way. You're gonna, kind of like hitting a willow branch, but much grosser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you will be able to make it to the sarcophagus with this body on this turn, no problem.
Okay.
That brings us to the mind flayer who just tentacled you. I don't know what the plural of that is. But he is going to cast Levitate and start to move up towards the ceiling out of your reach. And then we now have the mind flayer that is grappled in the tattoo. So we'll do a strength check to try and get out of that. Yes?
Yeah, that's athletics or acrobatics check.
Okay. 13?
Nope, 14.
Okay. Nope, not going to get out of it on this round. And is just going to concentrate on continuing to force Gwennifer to go after the tadpoles.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to the intellect devourer that was fighting Hogan, who is going to need its whole movement to get to Hogan. And so it's just going to start clomping its way that way. It will not get to you in this round. So that brings us to Wawatessi. What would you like to do?
Oh, thank you for asking. So I've been like looking around and I'm just like, what am I seeing?
So the 4 teenagers that were standing over the pool have passed out, dropped into the pool, and then Gwen has blasted them backwards. So 3 of them are laying kind of on the tiles of the temple. The 4th one has been scooped up at first, has been scooped up by Gwennifer and then placed in the sarcophagus, and Hogan has followed that trajectory. So Hogan and Gwennifer are standing at the back on either sides of a sarcophagus that contains the body of one of the teenagers. Neslia is in relatively the same position and has tattoo grappled one of the mind flayers that originally had the jar and the mallet that was beating on the drum. And so you are sort of in the center, in the picture here where the mind flayer is at the front of the stairs, sort of in the middle of the map. You're roughly there right now.
I'm roughly there. And who's over to the right of me?
Who's over to the right of you?
How close is Gwennifer?
Pretty far away. Gwennifer's like 25 feet ahead in front.
Is one of the bad guys close to me?
If you went over, yes, there's an intellect devourer behind you that is kind of running up behind you that is following Hogan. So you are closest to one of these brains right now.
Okay, whatever one's the closest one, I want to touch, I want to run, and I want to leap and touch, and I want to dispel magic.
Sure. These creatures aren't like magical constructs, so dispelling magic on it probably won't have an effect.
Then I don't want to do that. Now, do I?
Yeah. But you can attack it.
Magic is really good if it's like a spell that has made a trap door, or if there's
yeah, but it can be like. Does it seem like one of the teenagers is in a spell that I need to undo, or
they're just unconscious right now?
Okay, then I'll pokey.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and stab it.
Okay, and I think I ran too fast. I might have ran too fast. I got a 9, and I don't think I have any pluses on that one.
This one is
not gonna...
So you can attack with advantage, so you can roll that again if you want.
Also, if you're rolling with your rapier, don't you have a bonus to attack with that?
I do have a +5. That would be 14.
That'll hit.
And there's a D4 as well. From
no, that's okay. I'll hold on to that one.
Don't
So
forget.
you can use it every turn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, either way, we got him, right?
Yeah, you can roll your damage. Yeah.
Okay.
Combined damage is another 11 again.
That will kill this brain.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Wawatessi skewers this thing and it just collapses on the floor. You Zorro the shit out of its frontal cortex.
Wunderbar. That's what I say. And then I wipe my blade on its gush.
Okay, that'll
I
do.
don't like
That
that
brings
word.
us to Neslia. What would you like to do?
Okay, shoot. Ugh. I'm scared for Gwen.
Nestle, I'm so sorry. You were right. I was wrong. These guys are the good guys. We need to eat these slugs.
Oh, that's disgusting. I'm trying to find like my smallest spell that I can use to just like blast Gwynnifer, but hi.
Or a cantrip?
You have like a
Her cantrips hurt. Her cantrips
yeah,
hurt.
my cantrips hurt a lot. They're bad.
You can just punch me.
Yeah, but I'm nowhere near you, and I'm not punchy.
She's not really the punching type.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the
It doesn't
punching
matter
type.
how much damage you do. If I take damage, period.
Yeah. Have you taken a lot? Like, do you look hurt? Like, do you?
I do look hurt. Yes.
Okay. You know what?
I don't know if it's metagaming for me to tell you how many HP I have.
Well, as long as I'm like, you look hurt, I'm not gonna.
I have 25 HP.
Okay. I could probably hurt you and not kill you. So.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that then.
You know what? Let's do that. So I'm going to take my Eldritch Blast and I'm going to one beam the guy who just floated up.
Okay. Yep.
So let's resolve that
Let's
first.
do that.
Oh, I rolled 18 plus 7. That hits.
Yes, that will hit for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's 14 damage to the floaty man. Floaty guy.
Okay. Didn't like that very much. Yep.
And then I'm going to go, sorry, and blast Gwyn with my second Eldritch Blast.
Ah, I thought we were friends. Ah.
What did you roll?
Oh no. I rolled a natural 20.
Why did you say oh no then?
I mean, in all fairness, you would have had to roll a 20 or better to beat Gwen's armor, so this
That is
was
true.
inevitable, frankly.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, you need to roll low. I'm actually going to not use this dice because it's been rolling high all night. So
Can
you use a D4 to subtract it from the damage die?
yeah.
Also, I'm gonna say if I got hit with a nat 20, I don't know. I feel like that might make me feel nauseous and maybe throw up. So
that's 14 points of force damage.
Damn.
Oh,
Gwen just
snap.
gets rocked by that.
Crackle and pop, pop, or squish, squish, squish.
I'm just going to psychically be like, oh my god, I didn't think it would hurt that bad. I'm so sorry. I've actually never blasted myself, so I don't really know what happened.
This might not even work. We'll see. What do I have to beat?
15.
I got
Do the math.
Nice.
Ah!
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
just.
It worked. Good job.
Do
Okay.
you have any like Ipecac or something? Just want to throw that up, throw those words up.
Maybe you can toss her a
I got a
milky
little
tentacle.
something that I can do.
Okay.
I got a little something sup.
So, Neslia, anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, I'm just gonna hold my grapple with my tattoo, and that is it.
So the stunned intellect devourer is going to start moving towards you, but is not going to make it to any of you in this turn. So then that brings us to Gwen, who is now back on, well, wherever we are.
Okay.
And you don't. So you are the phrase "butterflies in your stomach" does not adequately explain what your insides feel like right now.
Yeah. How could I mechanically go about trying to make myself throw up?
I mean, you could just mechanically, as a humanoid, try and make yourself throw up all you would like to. You could also,
do you want me to roll a Constitution roll, or
yes,
what do you want me to
let's do that. You roll a Constitution roll. Your intention is that you want to get these things out of your stomach, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I rolled an 11.
Okay, you'll get 6 of them out. on this dry heaving extravaganza.
Oh, nice.
Did the
that
stomach
a-
acid do anything to the worm?
Oh,
Does
they're
that-
not like
No, that's their natural environment. What do you think was in the glass jar?
Yeah,
so
fair.
they've folded themselves. They've sort of like I'm trying to think of how to describe. So they look like tadpoles normally, but they have like a single eye and a hook, and they can enclose themselves in like a protective layer. So you can't see the hook or the eye for any of them, but they sort of look more like maggots than tadpoles right now. They've sort of like gone into a small cocoon-like state. They're not dead, is the short answer, and they have
Does
their
this-
protection against stomach acid has been to sort of like cocoon themselves.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't want me to eat them if it was going to kill them.
exactly. Sure. Yeah.
I was
Does that
just
have to
hoping.
be my full action?
No, you can do something else if you'd like
Okay.
to.
Then
Yeah, your
I am
response
going
to being uncharmed can be immediately vomiting and then trying to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do a bomb of peace, and I'm going to move 30 feet. And how many people could I get within 5 feet of with 30 feet of movement? How many of my people?
Would you
Could
be
I-
distributing that as you moved, or would you have to move to a location and have an area of effect?
No, just as I move.
Oh, you could easily get to. Everybody is sort of. They'd be about 5 feet apart, so you could hit all three of them in 30 feet if you wanted to plan it that way.
Yeah. So everybody is going to get 2d6 plus 3 healing.
Hey.
Hey,
Do you roll that?
Use you.
I need that real bad. And
Hey, I'm
and with a
allergic
bonus
to
action,
baby
I'm going to give
apples.
myself 5 temporary hit points. And I rolled 12 hit points of healing. So
Oh,
everyone heals
you're
for
wonderful.
12.
Oh, that means I'm back to normal.
Hogan no longer looks on the edge of death.
Hooray! And I'm going to end that movement. Who was the furthest away from me?
I think I am.
Wawatesi is where you would end up with, yeah.
Then I am going to move. I now have my movement action. That doesn't count as my movement action. That counts as my ability. And so with my last 30 feet of movement, where could I get to that would give me full cover from the illithids?
Any of the two vestibules in the bottom half of the map that are to the far sides, there's a narrow hallway and then two rooms on either end. Both of those are complete 100% cover from any of the creatures right now.
Versus if I just want to get cover from the two at the top. Could I just go behind there's a staircase and then to the left a little?
Either side of the staircase would be fine, yeah.
Okay. Just so that I'm still within the action a bit, I'm going to go there to get full cover from two of them.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah. No problems. Reasonable reaction. Had a rough day. This brings us to Hogan. You are not far. You are not far from a mind flayer who's certainly heading your direction. Gwen has taken off in her last movement, and you are right next to the sarcophagus right now. There's a mind flayer coming towards you. What would you like to do?
Is the mind flayer that's coming towards me is in the air right now?
Yes.
Okay. I want to check on the person I pulled out of the sarcophagus and just make sure that they're, not on the verge of death.
Unconscious and breathing, you'd have to take your turn to do a medicine check to do any deeper investigation as to what state. But unconscious and breathing.
I mean, she looks fine. I'm going to put her down. Is there any way that I can attack the mind flayer that is coming at me right now?
Yeah, absolutely. You can just attack. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I would thought maybe they were above me.
Yeah, they're like 10 feet above you. It's only levitate, so they're not flying, if that's helpful. They're just off the ground high enough to be inconvenient.
Yeah, they weren't those cloak things.
They're not cloakers, yeah.
I'm going to look really unimpressed and take a swing at him. 22 to hit.
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Perfect. And as a result of this, I'm going to also attempt the stunning strike. So DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
What? Constitution saving throw. Okay. Rolled a 16.
Okay. So first damage, 6. So you took 8 damage from the first attack.
Mhm.
On the second attack, I'm going to use Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
So burning another key point. So that's 2 left. And that is a 16 to hit.
Oh, 16 will hit, yes.
Oh, plus. Yay, plus 3. Okay, so let's do damage on this one. So 9 damage on that one.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
And then I can do one more attack thanks to Flurry of Blows.
Do it. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 as a bonus action. So I'm just
Go
going to
ahead.
keep wailing into this dude.
Yeah, that seems about right.
18 for the
no
next
hit.
one.
Yep.
6 for 8 damage.
Okay.
And then with the last one, oh, I already used it this turn. Damn. 9.
How do you want to do this?
No, that was
Yeah.
9. That was 9 to hit.
Oh,
But plus
9 will miss.
plus your D4.
Aw.
I
Two
used it.
D4. Yeah, 2 D4 you can use.
Oh, I have 2. I can use another one. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, if you want to do it, go ahead.
Big money, big money.
4. But, 13 to hit.
Yeah. This one, yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
This
Excellent.
one is unarmored, so
Kill
yeah.
him dead.
10 damage.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's the one that is alive right now is the one that is grappled by Nestlea's tattoos. That will take out this second Illithid.
I swear, this is like the best support character I've ever had.
In response to the Illithid dying, I'm just going to slowly, it's going to sound weird, but I'm just going to slowly lift my shirt to expose the very, very scarred chest that I have underneath and the scars that go out into the shape of the face of an Illithid. And I'm just going to kind of throw this guy down towards, and I'm going to spit out a curse in Undercommon using the word near Lul.
Okay.
Fun.
Excellent. Okay. So you've won. So we now come to the one that is grappled, who will try to break the grapple.
Okay. Acrobatics or athletics?
It's not going to happen. Rolling like hard.
That's a pretty strong tattoo there, lady.
It is.
Right? It's very helpful.
Where do you get your work done?
Okay. So this creature, I have to check one thing really quickly. Okay. So, Nestlea,
Mhm.
that voice in your head is going to return. And it's going to say, "You're going to wish we had killed you all." And this mind flayer is going to plane shift and disappear
Oh, I don't hear that.
Ah,
and ravels onto the ground.
my tattoo just kind of goes back in.
And we are out of initiative.
Run, help, drowning teens. Hogan,
Yeah, I'm gonna
does
go
that.
get the teen out of the sarcophagus and do a medicine check to try to revive them. Or
Yeah,
actually,
so
no,
you
I could just do a healing. Though, yeah, no, I'll do a medicine check first, just in case.
Yeah. So there are 10 unconscious bodies, one of whom has been implanted that you saw happen, and then 4 additional teenagers, one of whom is in the sarcophagus, the other 3 are laying out on the stone steps. There are 8 tadpoles still squiggling around on the floor in various places around those teenagers.
Stomp them.
Does Gwen still have
I'm gonna
tadpoles
step
inside of
on them.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
I
I
step
definitely
on
want
them?
to start
Can I
by
do a
vomiting
bardic
as much as I
dance?
can.
Sorry, Wawatesi, say that one more time.
Can I
Yes.
do a bardic dance? Can I step on them? Like,
You can totally, yeah, you can do, you were out of initiative, so everybody you can let me know what you want to do.
yeah, I'm
Currently,
gonna step on those little things. Like, oh, gross. But I'm not gonna like it because they're gonna ruin my leather boots.
It's fair.
Mm-hmm. I will take as long as it takes to vomit everything else out.
And as she's vomiting out the as they're coming out, I'm holding her hair and I'm taking my firebolt and just like blasting them as they come out. Just
Nice.
destroy. And just like patting her back and doing that soothing motion. Just like
Oh, when we were 19.
Yes. So you can do medicine checks and check in with the bodies here if you want to. I'll just sort of give you leave as a party to do that as you would like to.
Yep. That's
so go
what
ahead.
Hogan's focused on.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay.
I only have one more healing spell that I can do, because I've used my spell slots. As a cleric, I think, this is. I can't do a lot else other than that.
I can.
Just because I've used my spell slots. If I had still had a second level spell, then I would be able to heal 6 people.
I mean, if you were a supervillain, wouldn't you use your magic? You would.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And I mean, do you want me to do another medicine check?
So let's do the teenagers and then we'll do them in groups. So let's do the teenager in the sarcophagus and then the other 3, and then we'll do the unconscious bodies because they weirdly were not damaged in that fight, which is great.
I can also go around and I have spare the dying, so I can just touch them and be
I have that too, if that helps.
Do.
That's
we
perfect.
can just spare the dying, and that way they're not gonna die.
So let's do that. So Neslia, why don't you take the bodies that have been shrouded and you can start, and let's say Wawatessi and Neslia, you can start taking the shrouds off of these bodies and getting people out of them because they've been bound in this.
While I do that, I want to sing a song of Bodic inspiration.
Sure. Why not? You can.
For anybody to use, because we don't know what's around the corner, knowing this DM.
I thought this was the last session. Okay.
So the 2 of you can do that. So what you see are once you start unshrouding people, you see that these are all sort of citizens of the city, kind of between the ages of about 12 and about 22. There seems to be, so they're kind of all like older teenagers somewhere in that middle gap. There's a mix of teenagers that seem to have been, based on the clothing things you find underneath, there's a mix of all classes of teenagers, but they're all kind of in this same age range. I
thought that you would run off to burn a native village. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
The one who's been implanted is an elf, is an elven boy of about 13.
When I'm unshrouding people, this is purely selfish. I don't actually care, but I'm sparing the dying and using that kind of to look for any like books or any items that might be interesting to me that I can maybe put in my bag for later.
I want to take Hogan off to the side and have a private conversation with him for a second.
Sure. Okay.
Hogan.
So Neslia, so most of these people have almost no personal effects. A lot of them are in effectively like pajamas. They seem to have been kidnapped mostly in the night, so very, very limited. There are some like tchotchke style like family jewelry. There's a ring and a necklace here and there, but none of them, for example, have like a dungeon pack or anything. They were definitely kidnapped. So that's mostly what they have on them. Yeah.
So nothing that would interest me at all.
Blue tchotchkes, red tchotchkes.
There are a couple of but the mind flayers, however, have quite a bit more equipment. So if you want to move over to there, then we can do this conversation between Hogan and Gwennifer. So Neslia works through the bodies, and Wawatessi is working to unpack them all. And then Hogan and Gwennifer, go ahead.
Hogan.
Gwen.
So you know that elf has one in him.
I'm concerned you also still have one in you.
The difference is I'm pretty sure they put it in his brain versus I was eating them and I was able to, I know how many I ate and I know how many came out when I vomited them out. So I know that I got all mine out. And it's much easier to vomit something out than it is to extract something from someone's brain.
I agree.
Depends on how you approach it.
Okay, you know what these things are. Is this child going to become an illithid? Is it going to be a thrall? What precisely are we dealing with here? Because if it's going to become an illithid, I think we need to murder him right now.
And
I don't want to do that, obviously, but
can
for the
Hogan
greater
make
good, we might have to.
Can Hogan make some sort of check to see how much he knows about this particular creature?
A nature check would do that.
Oh,
I would say Gwennifer is asking this because she knows the bare minimum about this.
18.
Okay. So seramorphosis, which is the process by which illithids are made, you know that a captive humanoid host, it will take a number of days for the tadpole to consume the brain completely. If you can get this child to the surface in the next 24 hours, it is possible to remove the tadpole with minimal damage.
Okay.
Outside of that window, it becomes impossible.
Yeah.
Slight amount of brain damage, but it should be fine.
Okay. We need to make sure that if an operation isn't successful, we do what needs to be done.
I agree.
Okay. And then
We can't let
I
these
go
things
back.
spread to the surface.
I go back to the group and I exchange pleasantries and basically am like celebrating that these people that I know are like my people. They're going to be okay.
I'm poking around the illithid, and as I'm doing this, I'm like, oh, FYI, before the tentacly illithidy man left, he said, you're gonna wish that we had killed you all. Okay, that's just it.
Sounds
I'm
familiar.
investigating the sarcophaguses and just like wandering around and looking to try to like see if I see anything or if I get a vibe or anything like that.
So the temple itself is quite old. It seems like the mind flayers have broken in from underground somewhere. It's not immediately obvious to you where that exit or egress is, and have been using the temple specifically to conduct this ritual in relative privacy. It seems and so the one thing that is existing in this space, I'll just pop this back up for a second too, is that these two colonies of mind flayers have vanished with the death of the illithids, and you could presume that because cloakers live in a very, very deep part of the Underdark, it's very likely that these colonies were being attracted and contained through a portal, and that portal has now closed. But the temple itself is quite old. There are a couple of things that you find overall. You find about 250 gold pieces worth of sort of miscellaneous treasury, so cups and plates, and sort of ornate candlesticks that are covered in dust that have been left in place in this place whenever it was abandoned. So there's some sort of detritus from the previous temple, and you recognize the work of all of these different items is very specifically very old Dwarven. Hogan, you recognize it as Duergar, or a mix thereof. This seems to be a mix of Mountain Dwarf and Duergar craftsmanship.
Okay, well, my College of Law is satiated. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm preparing everybody for our trip back to the surface.
What do I find on the illithid?
Okay, so you find a couple of things on the illithid. So what we'll do is everybody give me a d6 roll, and everyone will get an item from the illithids that are found in them if you want to.
2.
1.
Okay, so we'll go Wawatesi first.
Okay.
Yeah.
1.
So you receive an iron ring that's about the size of an acorn. The ring feels heavy and it turns very slowly. This is called a gravity ring. anything touching it up to 1,000 pounds within a 30 feet radius treats the arrow direction as indicated by the ring. There's a series of arrows around the band. You can trick a map or a compass with this ring by resetting north.
Neat.
Don't know why a bard would want it, but I'll take it. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Speaking of horses, maybe I should find some. Princess Bride.
Are any of you holding torches or anything? Oh, you know what? There are some torches that have lit up this space. So there's about 6 of them in this space. So who got the one?
Hogan.
Okay, Hogan. So you find a silver orb, and when you run your hand over it, all of the sources of fire in this room turn into orbs of black ichor instantly and become available to you. This is a ranged weapon. These can be created out of any source of fire. They are usually about 8 inches across and are thrown with 2d6 acid damage as an effect.
Neat.
Okay.
So it's just called the silver orb.
So creative.
Who had the next highest number? We had 1 and 2.
I had a 4.
4. Okay. You find something, it's in a black leather and wooden box, and you flip it open, and it's 2 pairs of silver needles. These are called reception needles. You stab one next to the eye of a creature that you are speaking with, and one next to your eye. It creates no damage, but it means that you can see through that creature's eye while the needle is in place.
Interesting.
This has a range of 300 feet.
Great. Now with those tentacle tattoos and needles, what is she going to be up to next? Ugh.
You wake up and you just see Nestlia like hovering over you with a needle. I want to see what you see.
Don't worry, it doesn't hurt.
Well, I wouldn't worry about you, Hogan. I don't think she's going to want to use it on you.
Just a slightly lower perspective than she's used to.
And then there's one more. So Gwennifer, you find there's a charm that's held around one of the illithid's neck that's a long drop of water, and in the base of the drop of water where it's the widest, you can see that there has been etched into the silver a screaming face. This is called a drowning ray. So it has a 50-foot range. The target must make a save or must make a wisdom saving throw, or they believe they are drowning in a column of dark, cold seawater. This will include magically floating them off the floor. They will fall unconscious after 5 minutes. It recharges every 12 hours.
That is horrifying. I love
Damn.
that. That is crazy.
What's the save? Like, what's the DC? What's the DC?
12.
So make a wisdom save DC 12 or believe they are drowning.
Yes. Yeah, they will be under the illusion. Their entire being will be under the illusion they are drowning in a column of water. It will be invisible to others, but it will affect them as if they were encapsulated in a column.
When did they make a second saving throw?
They can redo the saving throw on their turn continuously after 5 minutes. Sorry, say that again.
Beginning or end of the turn?
Beginning of the turn. But after 5 minutes, they become unconscious, and then they proceed to drown.
It's a long time in combat.
Yeah. It's a long time in combat or a short time in torture.
Exactly. It's an out of combat use of item.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So, Hogan's just gonna kind of put his hands on his haunches and just kind of stare wistfully in the direction of the sarcophagus, and not even really speaking to anybody. We have to destroy this room.
I'm down.
No.
We can't leave this.
No,
This
there's
cannot happen again.
no there's
Nestlia, don't you have all the information you need?
but I do, but it's archaeology.
Well, you
Oh,
also
I
gonna-
know
think we
that
should put some rope around it, and I have some ink and a pen and a paper, and I can write caution, and then we can get the Smithsonian of the past to come over and maybe gather some of the relics to preserve it in a museum to hold on to tradition. But I don't see how we're, yeah.
does your patron have a name that's operable?
Yes.
Mine?
What's your patron's name?
Neslia's.
Oh, Cthulhu.
It's Cthulhu.
Okay, what would Cthulhu do?
WWCD wristband.
I want that on. Yeah.
He would put some cracks in it.
He doesn't like these guys, right?
No, but
What would
this
he
isn't.
do?
This isn't their temple.
No,
This is
Neslia.
your people's temple.
What's right? What's right? What would Cthulhu do?
He'd destroy the temple.
He would destroy
the temple and make everybody mad. That's what he would do. Now we can
That's
do
why
half
he
of
sent
that.
me.
That we can do half of that. Okay? We can do the destroy the temple part, and then
But I'm supposed
you
to do
are going to drive everyone into madness. Now,
Okay.
I'm gonna let
I do
you
have
guys-
this fireball that I've been, manifesting.
Oh shit!
Mm-hmm. Now, Neslia, I want you to focus on the madness part after we get back home, okay? But for now, we're going to focus on destroying this temple.
Fine.
Thanks.
So while you're having this, everyone give me a perception check.
Oh shit.
Oh, the D4s are still active for checks. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, 10 minutes. I think it's been past 10 minutes.
What? Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
What?
'cause we did all the sparing of people.
So I have 12.
What is the save? What am I looking at?
So perception check is a D20, and then if you have a perception bonus, everybody does.
I've got to get going pretty soon, guys.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find my pluses. Where?
I rolled a 19.
15.
And I rolled 2. No bonus is going to help that one.
So there's, Wawatesi, you won't notice this right away, but you'll notice Neslia and Hogan. Gwennifer, what did you get for perception?
I got 12.
Okay. Yeah, so Hogan and Neslia, you're going to notice this first. Hogan, how close are you to the sarcophagus?
I was kind of right next to it when I was punching the illithid, so I'm maybe about 5 feet away right now, just looting.
So there's sort of a sharp grinding noise, and you see the girl's body in the sarcophagus drop through the bottom of it. And then the top layer slams
I thought I
shut.
got her out.
Gwen got her out.
I thought I got her out.
Oh, is she out of the sarcophagus right
Yeah,
now?
I think she pulled her out.
Okay.
Yes.
So the
I
sarcophagus
made sure to get her out.
Yeah. So the sarcophagus opens.
Okay.
And then slams itself closed. And then opens again. And slams closed one more time. And then it opens a third time and remains open. The girl wakes up. Immediately. None of the other teenagers have woken up until this point. She stands up, but all at once, without bending her limbs, just straight to standing. And her eyes are glowing electric blue. There are no pupils present.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. And her mouth drops open as if she's about to scream, but then it just keeps going. Her jaw begins to descend past an uncomfortable distance, and then the top section of her jaw begins to fold backwards, and an enormous energy being crawls its way out of the mouth of this teenager as the husk that it was being held in. You notice this because the blue of her eyes and the blue of this creature are very similar to the magic that you saw being conducted between the four of them. And this creature pulls itself up out of the body, flies into the
It
sarcophagus.
was a cocoon.
The sarcophagus slams shut. The girl is dead.
Aw, monkey feathers.
Only in the Wizard of Oz.
Huh.
Okay. Well,
Spare the dying? No, she's dead.
So we'll leave it here.
Shoot.
And we'll presume here that your characters will have the opportunity then to rescue everyone that is left here. But we'll leave it here, and then we will see where the adventures go from this point. But you have beaten the Illithid. There is a healthy reward waiting for you should you bring out all of the people that you have officially saved.
I mean, why would
and so we will come back to that at another time. But for today, this is victory.
Yay!
Is it though?
Right. Thanks everybody that joined us.
Is
We're
it
gonna
though?
close the broadcast. Thank you all.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Ta-ta.